What is going on, everyone? It is your boy here with another issue of Tommy Reed's X-Men. Today we're going to be covering X-Men number 2, released in November 1963 and written by Stan Lee with art by Jack Kirby. That was 2 months after the premiere of X-Men number 1, which was weird. I don't know if there was a delay just to see how people's reaction would be. I don't really have the info on that, but in the era of monthly and now sometimes weekly comics, it's a little odd for them to wait 2 months. My guess is that they were just kind of throwing it out there to see what kind of fan response we were going to get. And people seemed to respond to the X-Men, so they got a second issue. This one is titled No One Can Stop the Vanisher, in which we meet, spoiler, spoiler, the Vanisher. We also get the appearance of something that's going to be really important to the X-Men lore. But let's kick it right off. Page 3, we find the X-Men training, and Jean using her powers, she starts to feel a little faint, a little, oh. And for the fans of the X-Men 90s cartoon, the one that I grew up with, every time Jean used her power, she seemed to feel faint or pass out. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of trivia to throw to someone who thinks they know X-Men, just drop November 1963, X-Men number 2, page 3, first time Jean feels faint. Cyclops is there, and he is quickly being established as the leader of the X-Men. And despite Beast being the oldest one, Cyclops is the serious / allergic to fun one, it would seem, because he's taking pleasure in Sunny and Iceman pretty good. We're calling him Lad and Sunny and Young Man. Now, I don't know the slang terms from 1963. If you were around back then, throw it down there in the comments if this was true. But were people calling each other Sunny and Lad? And, hello, young man? I don't know. I don't think so. I would hope not, but we'll see. Charles is there with the X-Men. He just likes to randomly test them. To me, he'll be in mid-conversation reading it, and he'll be like, Iceman, attack Jean. And he does. Like, Iceman, without hesitation, will throw an ice pun and some ice at Jean and see if she can block it. Now, I know it's to encourage maybe spontaneity and in the form of battle, but it just seems like Charles gets bored, and he was like, you know what? I don't even know what I'm talking about, and I'm in the middle of this conversation. And you know what? I'm just going to have these two guys fight and see what happens. But we go through the X-Men's training, and in page 7, we finally see the Danger Room. For those that don't know, the Danger Room is really important to the X-Men. It is their training area where they have computer-based simulations on things they might see in battle. Each one is kind of tailored to that person's specific power. For example, Angel will have things he needs to dodge in flight. Cyclops will have to blast things. Jean will have to move things. And Beast will have to do something with his hands and feet and bounce or roll around while being very smart and quippy, as he is known to do. So the Vanisher appears. The X-Men see him on the news, which is how they're getting all their information right now. And he, surprise, surprise, robs things by showing up and then, whoop, vanishing. That was dumb. But Charles starts to communicate with an FBI agent. He gives him a psychic headband, which, okay, that's weird enough in itself. Number one, how many of these does Charles have out there? Is he giving it to anyone he knows or just FBI agents? Does his dry cleaners have it and he doesn't have to call early to find out if his shirts and delicates are ready? He could just psychic headband them and be like, hey, y'all got my shirts? And they can be like, nope. Come back Tuesday. And he's like, all right, cool. But the FBI agent has the psychic headband, and I don't know why he would wear this all the time, or why the FBI would let him wear this all the time, because what if Charles goes rogue and he decides he wants some codes? I don't know what codes specifically, but FBI agents have to have some kind of codes. Don't give Charles the codes. And the X-Men fight with the Vanisher, and despite Magneto in the first issue being A, awesome, B, the first issue, and C, I don't know why B was matter much, but B, the first issue, and C, a total badass. So he's an awesome first issue total badass. That's 3 good things. it's the Vanisher that gives the X-Men their first loss. Now, there you go again, trivia buffs. Who gave the X-Men their first loss? Oh, I got this. Vanisher, November 1963. Thought you knew, right? So, the Vanisher gives them their first loss, and because of this, it makes the papers. Now, I guess a big battle would be on TV or something like that, the way different battles are covered and wars covered on news. But I thought this was odd because the people treated the X-Men like heroes when they won against Magneto. But as soon as they had their first loss, like fair weather fans who were supporting a team, the public turned on them. And by the time the X-Men showed up for a second battle in the issue with the Vanisher, there was a crowd of people who was just there to boo them. Now, I mean, I love my team, San Francisco Giants all the way, but I wouldn't show up just to boo someone if the paper said, oh, they got one loss. I don't know, it's a little odd to me, and maybe in the 60s people just like to boo things more. They decided to have round 2 with the Vanisher, and a group of mobsters that the Vanisher suddenly has as his henchmen. They thought he would be able to protect him, although he can only vanish himself. But you know what, that's a mobster's choice. In round 2, it takes place on the White House lawn. Now, this would not happen today, but the White House lawn hosts the second fight for the X-Men and the Vanisher with mobsters, and the X-Men look like they're going to lose again until they have their secret weapon, who is literally hiding behind them as they're standing off with the Vanisher, and that is Mr. Charles Xavier, who earlier in the issue, for some weird reason, I've never heard of this again, Angel calls Charles Dr. X. Like, instead of professor, like, he went to all that schooling, show that man some respect. Put some respect on his name and call him Professor X. Angel, what is wrong with you? Anyway, Professor X is their hidden weapon. He comes out from literally hiding behind the X-Men and mind wipes the Vanisher to not be able to vanish and not be able to do anything. He basically turns him into a little bit of a vegetable, and then after seeing that, the mob flee. The X-Men get their win back, and the group of people who were there to boo them are suddenly cheering them like they won the World Series. The final thoughts on this, I'll give it about a 7.5 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. It was okay, not as great as the first issue, but the X-Men Danger Room did premiere, and that was pretty good. The Vanisher comes out here and there, but he's not the major player that like a Magneto was, who we'll see later on in a few more issues. But the issue was good. Like I said, all of these, I'm enjoying the heck out of them. I definitely recommend you check it out. If anything for the nostalgia, to hear about Dr. X and Iceman the Sunny Lad. And I enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good. Hopefully next issue will be a little bit better. This was issue 2 of the X-Men, and you have been watching Tommy Reads X-Men. Thank you for checking it out, and hopefully these blogs get a little bit better with time and production. Later.